We moved!
Woo!
Finally!
Finally, yes! What's up, everybody? We are Diana and Phil. Diana's from the United States and I'm from Germany, and we are back with some big news. We finally moved to a new place in Germany, so in this video we're going to tell you how the last couple of weeks went for us, where we are, and how and why we ended up here.
So it's been over 2 months now since we posted on YouTube, so hello.
Howdy. And the city we moved to is Düsseldorf.
Yeah.
Düsseldorf is a city in Western Germany, right on the river Rhine. Even though the suffix Dorf means village in Germany and it is in the name, it's definitely a city-sized city. Because the population is a little above 660,000, which makes it the 7th biggest city in Germany. Also, Düsseldorf is very close to a lot of other large cities in Germany, like Cologne, or the entire Ruhrpott area is right up there too. And then also very close to the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg as well.
Yes, I am very excited to be in this area and close to other cities in Germany that I haven't been to, along with other countries in Europe that I've never visited as well. Ironically enough, it was 2 years ago in 2020 when we started our Germany tour, and this was the very first city we visited. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I guess we could have saved ourselves some time just staying. No, but seriously, for the last 3 years or so, I compared every city and everything in these cities in Germany and even in Europe to find a proper base for us.
Yeah.
We now moved across German state borders from the Göttingen area in Lower Saxony to Düsseldorf, which is in North Rhine-Westphalia. I kind of like that I never lived in this German state before. I've lived in a bunch of other states, but this area is new to the both of us.
A new state.
Yeah.
We showed some of our apartment searching process in videos on Patreon and us looking at different cities. So this may look very random on YouTube, but it has been a long thought out process.
Long.
And in the end, we decided to ultimately move here. Woo.
Yeah, and that move we did all by ourselves. Like, we didn't hire any movers, just a rental truck and a little bit of help from the family.
A lot of it.
I did everything.
Yeah. So there were several factors that led us to choosing Düsseldorf as a city to live in. We were apartment hunting for a few months, looking at a couple of different cities in Germany. We wanted a bigger city of around at least 500,000 in population. And with that usually comes more public transportation options, a bigger airport, more schools and jobs, and more activities and opportunities to do things and meet new people.
Yeah, totally. For a while we were mostly looking at Berlin. To be honest, that was our primary focus at the beginning of our intense apartment search at the end of last year.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time searching and contacting apartments again and again. And the apartment market in Berlin is, let's call it, pretty unique. And unlike a lot of other cities we've looked at or that I've experienced, the market has gotten so bad that, in my opinion, people are just being treated like dirt.
Yeah, we were applying to anything that looked semi-decent within our budget.
Yeah.
Plus, we had to weigh out the option if we wanted to take the train to Berlin just for one viewing, because it was near impossible to schedule multiple in one day. You just get one reply with your time slot and that's it. It's that time and day or they give it to someone else.
Yeah.
So granted, it would have been much easier if we were already living in Berlin.
But also, the quality in Berlin is not that great for the price. I understand there is a lot of demand, but some apartments were just straight up dirt holes, and management companies are listing those as like good quality. And then some of the others were straight up fixer-uppers and listed like for handyman or for self-expression.
Yeah.
So they wanted to rent to someone who fully renovates it for free. And sometimes those were even limited time leases, and that is just not normal practices throughout Germany. I'm considering even doing another full video about that on my channel because I have a lot to say about that. But going back, the other main reason was that Berlin forced us kind of over our budget. In the back of our minds, we were always asking ourselves if living in another city in general wouldn't be better.
We were always looking at a few other cities, and with those cities we experience a smoother process in communication and being invited to proper apartment viewings. Just the additional space, rooms, and quality was nice.
Yeah, so nice.
It was a very big contrast. So we were looking, for example, at Hanover. We had an apartment viewing there too. I think Phil's family would have loved if we ended up moving there because it's the closest city to them of all the cities we were looking at and considering.
Yeah, so we always had like the Rhine area and especially Düsseldorf in the back of our minds. And the Berlin experience, I don't know, at that point of time, that was kind of where we decided to go for Düsseldorf.
Yeah.
So I started looking at a few apartments that popped up, and I previously thought that Düsseldorf would have very expensive rental prices, but they still are actually kind of on the more reasonable end still.
We found some deals.
Yeah, like they are comparably or even just slightly higher than, for example, Hanover or Göttingen. And they are still cheaper than other bigger cities like Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Cologne, or even cities like Mainz.
Yeah.
So we came back to Düsseldorf a few times for different viewings and decided for the city because it offers a pretty high quality of life for still reasonable money, I think.
Yeah.
But aside from the Preis-Leistungsverhältnis, Düsseldorf also had, of course, some other major points that made us ultimately choose it. Like, for example, it is on the water, which is always super nice.
Yes.
It has a beautiful old town with tons of culinary options and breweries.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is big enough to offer all kinds of sports and clubs and meeting people. Yeah. It has Little Tokyo, Germany's biggest Japanese community and area, and we love Asian stuff.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of Asian supermarkets here.
It also has a great airport, literally a 10-minute train ride from our apartment, which is awesome. And the demographics seemed decent too. It's like a good mix of people of all ages and cultures. It's also just a short train ride away from other interesting cities like even Amsterdam or Brussels and then Cologne, of course. So yeah, in the end, Düsseldorf, it is. Then a couple of weeks ago, we actually went on a holiday trip to Barcelona during our break. It was both of our first times in Barcelona. We found some cheap flights and desperately needed to see the sun after Germany being gray for what seemed like forever.
Centuries.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, actually on the second day of that trip, I got a call that we got the apartment, this apartment, and we were so happy because it was the one that we had our hopes up for.
Yeah.
And the search at that point was finally over after years.
Yeah, it was such a relief to hear that. We were trying to print and sign and send preliminary agreements before we came back, before we officially signed the contract and like sent it via snail mail because that's what you do here in Germany.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so happy to get that news and it made our Spain trip even more enjoyable as well.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah. After looking at so many apartments and cities, it was such a relief to have some type of future plan, some concrete plans.
Yeah, not just hanging in the unknown for the last 2 years like most people.
Yeah. This apartment had a lot of what we were looking for. It was a very good deal and it was a new city for both of us, and I just love cities by the water.
Yeah.
We've already taken our bikes out on the Rhine when it was sunny, before the snow. We plan on making many more videos here, and there was a lot of work between getting the apartment and us actually being here now. So we plan on having a moving video, an apartment video in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, that was what we were up to, and we are back now to posting weekly on YouTube every Friday, and we hope you enjoyed our little story time.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to this new area and especially this finally independent living for us, like maybe a little bit like grown-ups. By the way, we need your support to finally hit 100,000 subscribers. It's been very slow lately, so if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for future videos, that would be marvelous.
Danke.
We also want to give a huge thank you to all of our Patreons, and some of you already knew about this move. We are super appreciative of all your support during this break from YouTube, and we wanted to give a special shout out to our family member Patreons.
A big thank you to Marcus Ottensman, Fred42, Ethan Mitchell, Heather Kuffner, Hasten Metro, Shar Mills, Tarek Malkosh, Stephanie Vend,
Jörg Michels, Megan Rosati, Shannon Bradley, Klaus Eisert, Holden Gilbert, Lee Lim, Robert J. Casper, and Roger Lübke.
Thank you guys.
Big thank you to you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.